Good morning, everybody. I hope you all are doing well, and welcome to our week before spring break. So just so you are aware, this week is actually a very short week. If we were in school, it would be very exciting because the multicultural assembly would be at the end of this week. But we're not, so please enjoy past videos of the multicultural assembly, which I'm sure you can find on the school website. That being said, though, this week is Monday through Thursday, technically, which would mean spring break is from April 10th, which is this Friday, to Sunday, April 19th. What does that mean for you? It means that next week I will not be assigning any new assignments. I also will be off the clock, so let's just consider it spring break. So if you have a dire question, if you're really struggling with something, please still feel free to reach out to me, but I won't be checking any work or anything like that next week. Anyways, this week though, what I've done is I've moved a few things around a little bit because of the update received by College Board about the new AP exam. If you didn't see it, it's posted right here. I posted it on April 3rd. It provides you some details about it as well as the AP exam schedule. This is really important, especially if you have any other AP classes that you do take, and then specifically the APUS history exam description from College Board. I'm going to post, or actually have already posted, examples of the rubric on today's stream as well as in the classwork section. So that being said, let's take a look at this week's classwork. One big thing to note is I've switched some things around in classwork. You will notice that no longer are crash courses up at the top, and that's because we now have finished everything relating to period 9 and all of the crash courses for the school year. Congratulations, you finished. But you'll also notice that I have 2 new assignments. The period 1 and 2 study guide was originally supposed to be our assignment for this week, but I've decided now just to make it an assignment that you can do, or as a practice assignment. The future ones will be mandatory assignments, but because periods 1 and 2 will not be for sure on the AP exam, I'm now making it a practice assignment. But it is here for you. If you go into it, you have your directions. And if you click on the assignment and open it up, if you haven't looked at it already, all it is it's all of the different thematic focuses and the different standards that they build the AP exam off of. And throughout, there's just questions for you to answer. These can be done using jot dots. That's totally fine. But it's just a quick way to review what you know. I would say go back using your notes and your AMSCO book. If you still have your American pageant book at home, use that. Use everything you can to your advantage. I would say try and stay away from the internet, only because the internet, one, is like casting a huge net for information that you can usually find pretty quickly just from a textbook. Also, the internet is not refereed in the same way a textbook is, which means you can find false information, especially as we move into more up-to-date periods of time. Period 1 and 2 is pretty fact-based at this point online, but you never know. So again, that's a practice assignment. If you do, in fact, decide to do it, please feel free to still turn it in. I'd be happy to check it for you to make sure your information is correct. Now, the new actual assignment you will have this week is the DBQ practice assignment. You can find this right here. This is now going to become a weekly assignment starting after spring break. This is going to be your first one. Please use it, though, as a practice. In other words, don't worry about getting things wrong. This is about really challenging yourself to think through how you would approach the DBQ. So what it is, when you open it up, is you will see I will provide you with these same 7 questions every week. What is the prompt asking you to do? A question about sort of building a thesis, a question about context, a question about what the documents are about versus how they relate to your thesis, which are 2 of the different points you can earn on the DBQ, the HIP for the documents, and then a piece of outside evidence. Down below, though, is where you'll see something different every single week, and I'm going to change it based off the periods of history we are looking at each week. So here you find a prompt, and then in this case, because of this week's prompt, which is evaluate the extent to which English colonial societies in the New England and Chesapeake regions prior to 1700 were similar to one another, because of the fact that it's asking you to compare the 2 regions, I've provided you with 2 documents. Document 1 and down below, document 2. This week, during our first Zoom office hour meetings this Tuesday, so tomorrow. We will be spending all of our time talking about the upcoming AP exam, the changes to it, and exactly how to fill out this particular worksheet. So if you're looking at it and you have any questions, please, please, please come to the Zoom meeting. I will be sending out the invitation after I post this video. So those are the big things for this week. That is your one assignment. You will notice on both assignments that it does say that they are due April 12th, which is this Sunday. I'm technically really not going to look at it until the 19th, to be totally honest with you. But if you do finish it ahead of time, that would be great, because my plan is to look at everybody's DBQ practice assignment 1 and pull out the best examples of each question and create a document for us to look at. And that will be our sample then for all of the rest of ones we will be completing. Over spring break, if you're asking yourself, what could I be doing? My big suggestion would be continuing to work on your final project or that historian journal, and then just be continuing to review for the exam. I posted this new exam review guide, and so you will notice I've eliminated a couple of the links under review, and that's only because they're now here. In here, you will see a quick description of different places you can go to review content. So you've got different links, what type of resource it is, what it has, and how I would suggest using it. Obviously, you don't have to rewatch the crash courses unless you really, really want to. Down on the next page, it gives you information about what to review for the skill, as well as video links for help on how to do the DBQ. Those would be great things to get done while you are on spring break next week. I also have a link to the College Board AP lessons. The first two weeks of lessons are periods 8 and 9, so you don't have to participate in those or pay attention to them if you don't want to, since they technically will not be on the AP exam. But they did the period 8 and 9 ones because technically, in order to get into college, you need to have covered all of that information. So they just want to make sure that students who maybe didn't finish those in class still got all of that information. And then the last thing I left here for you was the period reviews, the ones we did for class. My other suggestion for spring break is if you didn't do any of your crash courses or if you haven't turned in your period 9 notes, please make sure to do that. I will continue to check those and put the grades into the grade book. The last little thing I have for you is that the grades I have changed to the new format, which is credit or no credit. Again, like I said last week, this is not going to affect your GPA in any way, nor will it affect your ability to get into any UCs or CSUs. But just so you understand what it is, if you take a look at Aries, you will notice that there is an assignment called Quarter 3 grade that I've just made worth 200 points. And based off whatever grade you had, you got that out of 200. So if you had an A, you got 200 out of 200. If you got a B, you got 170 out of 200, and so on and so forth. So you ended up with about an 85% or a 75%, and so on. Then you will see your crash course videos, and you will see they're still worth 10 points. I gave you whatever points you earned. And then along the side, you will see that your grade is either CR, meaning credit, or NC, meaning no credit. Do not panic yet if your grade is not what you want it to be. If your grade is currently no credit, just ask yourself, did I turn in all my crash courses? If you didn't, then for the love of whatever it is you believe in, make sure to turn in all of your crash courses. If your grade still isn't up to where you want it to be, just know there will be more assignments that will help bring up your grade. But the other option, as always, is to go into classwork and go down to where it says test corrections and make test corrections to your SAQ or your LEQ from the last exam. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me and let me know what they are. And I hope to see all of you this week at our Zoom meetings. Bye.